babies, less baby food.
That's a good, she did make, I couldn't fight with her on it. It's a really dark subject, but I couldn't fight with her on it because technically
She's not wrong.
Technically, she's not lying. I think that's probably why her staffer left her in the middle of the interview, is that, you know, she's not supposed to say that stuff. That's not appropriate, but thank you for joining us. You know, clearly her voice was just a little banged up.
She's fine.
I mean, her voice is, you know, her throat's seen a lot of damage, you know, so she's not going to be 100% of the time. Willie Brown, you know, I'm sure he's got some stuff going on, and, you know, who knows what's happened to those tonsils over the years. So, Jimmy, let's talk some boxing. What do you think, man? What do we got?
When were we on last? Who was the last big fight? Because I don't think we ain't talked boxing, this fucking boxing program, but we don't talk boxing.
We haven't even talked Canelo. Okay, so the Canelo fight happened, and that was a big fight, a very big fight. And what do you? So I've got a certain take on this fight. We've fought about it a little bit, but what are your thoughts on what we saw with the Canelo? How the fuck do you say his name?
Canelo.
Bavin? What the hell's his name?
Oh, yeah, the other guy.
Bivol, Bavin, whatever the fuck his name. I didn't know shit about him coming in. I knew he was a talented boxer. He had a huge amateur career and like a big boy amateur career. So I really didn't know much. And, you know, the first few rounds, we both thought Canelo was going to eat him up. And we probably thought that because why the hell would Canelo take the fight? You know, if there wasn't, why would he target that weight class? He had a lot of other options, unless he thought he had a matchup problem. Now, Bivol was not a knockout artist. He was a boxer, which technically should have played into Canelo's hands. And Canelo is moving up 2 weight classes, technically. I mean, technically, he's not meant for that weight class. But my thought on this, so I've moved Canelo out of my top 10 currently. And the reason I did it is not because he didn't, you know, take some chances. If you move up in weight class, and usually you'll end up getting outbodied, you'll end up getting, you know, somebody leaning against you, or you'll end up getting outpowered. Completely fair. Canelo got outboxed. That Bivol performance was not, I'm going to lean on you. It wasn't, I'm going to outpunch you. He got out fucking boxed from 80% of that entire fight. Now, to his credit, he finished the fight, but that was a boxing match, and he looked like a guy who had no business being in the ring with Bivol.
It was such a nice little package with a bow on it. Fucking from ring generalship to punches landed, he thoroughly. Would it be too much if I said he outclassed him?
No, he outclassed him from start to. So that's the thing, Canelo. So we had that big top 10 fight over. We fight over text outside of here, just for people that are listening, and that's some of the best stuff. We literally fight about dumb shit all the time. But on the top 10, I have Canelo out, and the reason I have him out, not for his career. For his career, he's one of the greats. Period. But for right now, he's not one of the top 10 boxers in the world. He just got completely outclassed at boxing. Not because he went up in weight class. Actually, he should have had an advantage with speed, and he should have had a boxing advantage. And he had neither of those. He just got out fucking boxed by a bigger man.
It's been a long time since I've seen somebody use their attributes so impeccably. And the kind of things I'm talking about is when Canelo would droop over to the ropes and try to goad him in. This guy didn't break any of his own rules. And that impeccable discipline is what won that fight. He didn't need a knockout. He didn't care about a knockout. He was going to take what was given to him and just box this guy's ears off. It was, I mean, I've seen him live twice, I think, and I've seen him.
And I'm sorry, Canelo?
Bivol.
No? Oh, Bivol. You've seen Bivol play? Okay.
And there's no way in hell that I thought he was gonna be able to handle Canelo. I mean, I make a rookie mistake. You just don't realize the size difference, and even more so the height difference between those when they're not standing next to each other.
There was a length advantage, okay, but there's length advantages on all of Canelo's opponents. I mean, all of them. Canelo is a little short guy with stubby little arms that work. So I give him zero flack on an extra inch in reach from a guy he's fought tall, lanky people.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why. The taller you are, sometimes the more slight your body is, the more, the less capable you are of keeping a real strong guy off.
Like having a jab that can actually keep him off. Yeah.
Right. But not only did this opponent get taller, he had that weight behind him to support his height. Okay.
So it's the first time a tall guy could actually have the strength of a jab to actually keep a Canelo off.
Yeah, he didn't have to back up and stay away from Canelo, because when Canelo got past the long punches, now he's dealing with a 175-pound man who probably was 200 by the night, not 200. It was probably 190-ish, and he had no answers for this guy.
I'm not giving any credit to the strength portion just because, again.
Oh, you got to.
Canelo, well, I know, because Canelo he's roided up strong. Typically, he's a bulldog. That's his strength, is getting on the inside. He got outboxed, and everyone can make as many excuses as they want for him. He looked like shit, and I don't know if it's the part vegan, or if he just got fat and lazy, or if too many people are sucking his cock, and maybe he's at that level right now where he just can't be hungry anymore, which is fair. You have private.
Well, that was my next point. That was my next point.
If you want a girl to come over and wipe your ass for you, like coming to America, he can be treated like that. Legit. It's hard to get up for a fight when you're like that.
That's what I was leading into, was the indifference that he seems to have now, the ho-hum attitude. I can't see his mannerisms and his actions. I don't see how he's up for these fights. I hesitate because I don't want to take away from Bivol, because Bivol fought a perfect fight.
Bivol's a much better boxer than I'd given him credit for. Bivol is in my top 10 and deserves to be there, because he just made one of the boxing legends in our time look like a guy who had fought for a little while. You know what I mean? Yeah. He just at the end of it, he was playing with him, Jimmy.
Zero answers.
In the final 2 rounds, he was playing with. He almost had a smile on his face as a boxer, like he was just enjoying himself. There was no danger.
He was in the zone. He was in the zone.
Complete control. He's like, I got this little Mexican under control, angrily, just peppering him. He was fine, just winning. And it was a beautiful performance. So Bivol moves into my top 10. And I absolutely moved Canelo right now. So we had this fight because boxing sort of treats the sport with more historical deference than other sports do. In other sports, you are judged by more of what you are right now than in boxing. So I made the case that Barry Sanders was all pro for his rookie year. He was considered to be the best running back. Michael Jordan was considered to be the best basketball player his rookie year. In the UFC, I talked about Chimov. Chimov fought 6 fights, and he fought number 2 in his 6th fight. So they recognized that this guy's special, and they moved him up to give him a shot much faster. Now, in boxing, they did that with Tyson. So don't get me wrong, it's been done before. Tyson wouldn't be the world's youngest heavyweight champion if boxing weren't capable of it. But the sport now seems to look at a more historical basis when they're ranking fighters than who's actually the best today. So even right now with Crawford and Usyk, they're both 34, 35 years old. You're pretty much on the precipice of being on the downside of your career. I mean, at 36, that's when you, in the best scenario, that's the pinnacle of your athletic career, and then it's a slog.
That's a little late. That's a little late too, even.
Yeah, even so, that's given a benefit of doubt of somebody who took care of their body, didn't take too much damage.
Right.
You know, so they're moving these guys. For me right now, Ennis and Shakur Stevenson are the two best boxers in the world, and neither of them are getting that type of press.
Well,
And-
are you contradicting because you've been saying that Fury is?
Well, Fury's no longer fighting. Plus, pound for pound, he's a fat fuck. So how you work out a 280-pound pound for pound in there?
No,
and Fury's
no.
no longer part of the equation because Fury's now retired. Technically,
Fury's not fucking retired. Okay, that's bullshit.
well,
Right.
I agree. I think in my opinion, he retired so that he can fight Ngannou without any of the belts that he owned getting a piece of it. So if he retires, he doesn't have to pay those belts a fucking thing. It's a beltless contest. Then he can wait to see who wins with Usyk Joshua. Usyk will take over all the belts occasionally, and then he'll come back for a super fight with either Usyk or Joshua and be able to, unify all the belts.
Yeah.
So
But you made the point. You made the point because we were arguing about all-time greats, heavyweights, and I said he can beat everybody. I could see him beating everybody.
Yeah.
But I can't call him a top 5 all-time great.
Which is insane because he worked pretty much all the people and
But
love.
that's not what you're saying. You're saying that he's not the best, that fucking Ennis and the other guy.
No, I'm talking about the best boxers. I'm talking about the pound for pound. So there's two different things: is where you are in your division and history. And by the way, I had removed Fury from this discussion because technically he is retired. But Fury. But it goes to the same point what I was saying before, right? You are putting a bunch of people that would get the shit kicked out of them by Fury or be heavy underdogs ahead of Fury because in your mind, you're old school. You like those old school fighters. You remember them and you idealize them as instead of appreciating what's right in front of you.
That goes back to how you started this conversation.
Yes.
It's boxing relies on
history.
What have you done?
What's your resume for, and especially older stuff, you can reflect back and go, wow, that was but while you're in the moment, you don't appreciate it. And that happens in a lot of sports, but more so in boxing than other sports. In the NFL, we didn't have to wait till after Randy Moss was retired to be like, that guy's the best wide receiver possibly of all time. Tom Brady's still playing. He's the GOAT. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan, when he was playing, he's the GOAT and he always will be the GOAT. In boxing, it doesn't work that way. You almost need to retire, and it reflects in the top 10 and it reflects in your attitude on Fury.
It's a cranky old man attitude.
It's a battered wife attitude. Like boxing's filled with battered wives. Like everyone's just been abused. No one really knows. They're demoralized. They don't quite know what to think. They're angry. They never get angry at the sport. They're sort of, boxing fans almost all have CTE because they've gotten the shit kicked out of them if you're a fan, you've watched so much bad decisions, so much corruption. You don't even know what to think anymore. You're like a woman that's cooking with a rusted tin can. Husband comes home, smack. Bitch, what are you doing with that tin can rusted? Why are you doing that? And I don't know. He's okay. He's normally really nice. But I feel like boxing fans are demoralized, and they don't understand where they are in the moment. They don't understand the brilliance that they're watching. They have to wait and then look back on the good old days. And that's happening in real time. So I was fighting with Gary about Ennis. Did you watch that fight? The Ennis fight?
That's the one I missed.
Oh man, you got to watch it. I mean, you really got to watch it. It's not a long fight. None of Ennis fights are, but there's something. It's like watching Michael Vick, when he was, playing Clemson or playing JMU in his first couple of days. There's just something, and Vic was all athletic ability. This guy's actually boxing, but the talent level to take a very skilled boxer who's an Olympian, has a long career, known for being a pretty boring boxer, but a very good boxer, undefeated, never been knocked down, and to make them look like they were a kid coming off the street that's never put on mitts before with a jab. I mean, his jab is phenomenal.
It's such an overused term in boxing now, but he's on a different level, is what you're saying.
He's on a different level from everybody that's on a different level. Like he's on a different level than he's levitating above the sport of boxing. He can do anything he wants in that ring. And
I think you're premature, but
I'm not. I'm telling you, I'm not. I watched the way he used his jab. I've never seen a fighter use their jab more effectively. He was peppering his jab out 85% of his punches.
You can't say you've never seen a fighter use a jab more.
Never. I'll tell you what. Let's watch the fight together because I guarantee I can find it. And let me see if I can find Ennis full fight because you haven't seen the fight. Let's watch it on the show. What else do we got to do? Ennis.
Let's do it.